Travelers on the Omnibus occasionally touches on mature subject matter with mature language. As such, audience discretion is advised. Brady, what do you think of Caillou?
Caillou's a little bitch.
Okay, there we go. There we go. If you were going to apologize, what would it sound like?
That was way more condescending than I meant it to be.
It's all good.
So I apologize.
It's fine.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There you go. All
Hey,
right.
hey.
There you go.
That's great.
Ask and buttons shall be received. It is now unlocked a seventh row of buttons, so the soundboard expands.
We just have to keep it right behind the expansion.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're doing like button manifest destiny or something.
I feel the eighth set will be where it stops. But if we get to a ninth set, all the better. All the better.
Yeah.
Sure.
By the way, welcome to Travelers on the Omnibus, a field trip through nerd and pop culture. My name is James McCarthy.
I'm Brady Davis.
I'm Jody K.
And this week, we have replaced Ethan with a stuffed Bucc-ee from Bucc-ee's, Smoochie the Frog, and Percy the Stuffed Pear. So that is who is going to be Ethan this week, because Ethan is once again not here.
Are you sure about that?
Okay, so
say his name and he appears.
I believe in the Skinner. I believe in the Skinner.
Nice. I like that.
Okay, so
A future date,
Brady,
Jay. Don't
then-
cut that part out.
No, Brady, you get the Smoochie, you get Percy, and we'll keep Bucc-ee. There you go.
Hi, everybody. I'm back.
Welcome back.
I am back.
All right, explain to us what you've done in 2 weeks in the wilderness.
I went to Panama City Beach.
Okay.
Panama City Beach, not the country.
Yeah, once again, we need to establish that.
Would Steve Vai come out with like a 3-neck guitar?
I mean, you were gone for a couple of weeks. So.
Yeah.
I was there for 4th of July holiday. We
PCB, baby.
Yep.
Am I the only one who watched that episode of Squidbillies?
I hate Squidbillies.
I fucking love Squidbillies.
We need you two to have a fight based off of your love and hatred of Squidbillies.
What about Assy McGee?
I actually like Assy McGee as well.
I feel like
we've had this discussion before.
This exact same
I was
discussion.
okay with Assy McGee. It's not my bet. It's
I'm
not
not
my
going to
favorite.
marathon Assy McGee, but I will
Boy,
watch.
there's a sentence.
I will watch like 20 Squidbillies episodes in a row.
Everybody, shut up, Brady. I need you to no laughing
I'm
either.
not saying that again.
Brady, say it again.
No,
that you're not.
I don't want that to be.
Well, then the cut's just going to be weirder when it ends up on the soundbar. God damn
figure
it!
that one fucking out.
Swear to God.
Yes, I did blast Panama on the way to Panama City.
Hell yeah.
Okay,
But,
that's good.
to be fair, if we debated about Squidbillies, it would just be me saying like Squidbilly lines for like 30 minutes.
It would also
and you going, I really don't. I'm really
It would
uncomfortable now.
also require me to watch the show.
It would be really easy, like
more
that
than
time I
one
beat that
episode.
baby.
I don't know what that means.
It's you just monologuing and Jody going, "What do you mean?
Don't touch the trim."
I don't know what that means.
You don't like my truck, poke truck.
Oh God!
I saved all that gas for Revan.
We'll start singing C-Lab 2021 songs.
There is an episode where he meets a Hulk Hogan analog called Thunder Thighs.
Oh God!
He had to retire because he was in a he was in a tag match with his partner was a Make-A-Wish child, and he tagged them too hard and killed them. So he had to go up on a mountain to atone for his sins.
Yeah, this is Adult Swim shit. This is 100% Adult Swim
No,
shit. I love
nothing I said was
Was a lie.
Was a lie.
Everything is
You
great.
could be making it up. I'll take your line.
Nope.
Oh, I just figured out my next game for any of our trivia stuff is Squidbillies Fact or Fiction, and I would just describe a plot point as like, did this happen or not?
Guess I'm fucked.
Oh,
Ethan,
God,
back to your vacation.
Yeah, shit. Sorry.
What was it like hanging out with Squidbillies?
That's the problem you get me talking about. It's like Squidbillies and then the behind the scenes stuff for the island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh,
I'm here
man.
all day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm with you on that one, too.
So the beach was lovely, except for the fact that every single day we went there was like an hour and a half period where it would just rain consistently. And
Blame
we'd have to
it
go
on the
inside.
rain.
It was falling.
But other than that, the trip as a whole was really good. I very much enjoyed it. I feel like I needed the trip.
Mm-hmm.
The whole trip as a whole.
I do not remember how many Jello shots I had on the beach.
Oh shit!
I do not remember. And I have a souvenir cup from every single restaurant that we've been to.
Oh,
So
okay.
went to Pineapple Willie's, Sharky's, and Dick's Last Resort.
Mm-hmm.
Dick's Last Resort.
Yeah.
Nice.
I very much.
Is that the restaurant where they treat you like shit?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the last thing
Yeah.
that I want to go to.
Yeah.
However-
If I was with a whole bunch of people and they said, "Hey, I want to go to that," I'd be like, "Nah, well, what's next door? I'm just gonna go to that."
Yeah.
It's a McDonald's. I'll just go
Is there
there.
a Po Folks? I'll be there.
Sign me up for Po Folks.
Now
Imagine,
nobody in their right mind, so would turn down a Po Folks.
imagine a Po Folks, but it's the atmosphere of Dick's.
Jay, maybe cut that. I don't know.
I don't. No, leave that in.
I don't know. I don't know. That's a weird gray area.
yeah.
I don't know what's being insulted there.
I will be honest. I was going for profusely sweating Southern lawyer. So
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. Once again, at Po Folks, under farm vegetables is macaroni and cheese.
A vegetable.
we gotta let Ethan get through
Yeah.
this. I keep interrupting him specifically, and he has a lot of shit to talk about.
Brady, prepare another Squidbillies quote. Just wait a minute.
Whenever we
Hail
got,
Satan, our Lord and Master.
I said, wait a minute.
See, now I want to watch the show.
The son does like sell his soul to the devil to be able to play.
God damn it! Now I got to watch the show.
Yeah.
I think that's season 3. I can't
Your
remember the
trip to
exact episode.
Panama has opened up Jody's eyes to Squidbillies.
I'm just gonna watch
Did you
that one
think That
episode.
would happen.
that was not on my bingo card for this year. It was not.
There you go.
We got back from Panama. Bianca has single-handedly taken over the PlayStation
Mhm.
and is consistently playing Fortnite with her friend.
Nice.
So what I decided to do was me and my buddy James Stone, we decided to do a 2-player Soul Link Nuzlocke of one of the old Pokemon games. Basically, it's like Nuzlocke rules are like you only one Pokemon per route. If it faints, you lose it forever. Only the Pokemon that we catch is linked. So if my Pokemon dies, then so does his. And so every single gym that we've gone to, I've gone completely deathless. He has single-handedly taken out like 4 to 5 guys. And I'm like, James, you dumb motherfucker. Just stop. Be good. Stop dying all the time. So
Be good,
This
you
is-
dumb motherfucker.
This is so weird for you to be wearing the shoe. Like it's just
Very
just
true.
the way it is. What the fuck?
I love James to death. He is very like
Bad at video games.
headstrong. Like
okay.
I'm
Okay,
so
okay,
good at
that's
this.
reasonable. Yeah.
And then he proceeds to fail miserably. And then I'm on the receiving end. It's like, what was that comment that you made earlier?
Yeah.
So that's going good. And then in between times of longing for the PlayStation, I
Can't say some shit like that while I'm taking a drink. God damn it.
Quick, another Squidbillies quote.
was that
In revenge.
Was that a Squidbillies quote right there?
No.
Why am I recording this podcast? I could be playing King of Fighters right now.
Or watching Squidbillies.
Or watching Squidbillies.
We're watching Squidbillies. I decided to pick up the Kaizo Ironmon playthrough of Emerald, and it's arbitrary rules to make the game so much harder.
Okay.
Sure. Still talking about Pokemon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
We're
doing.
continuing with words that I do not understand.
Yeah, same. That's why my face was puzzled.
Yeah, I'm doing surprisingly better than I did previously.
Mhm.
Farther than I've gotten before. So that's
Better than James.
far better than James.
He's not here to defend himself.
No, he is not.
I don't think it would matter.
No, he would accept all this.
Jesus
Ethan's
Christ.
like, I
man.
am taking advantage of that.
But honestly, I'm just trying to get back into regular work rhythm, try and get back to things like that, and settling in. But that's been me.
There you go. Jody L. Kite, hit us with your weekend review.
I've done a deeper dive into King of Fighters 15. I've been trying to find my quote-unquote main characters. You kind of need to pick 3. They have a really weird, arbitrary system for online matchmaking. So you get to pick any region. I would forego that immediately because I don't want to be playing like people that are really, really good in other countries. And they have a quote unquote.
They call you slurs like you wouldn't understand.
That's
them,
also
so that's
true.
Okay.
I usually make a party of 1 that way I don't have to hear other people talk while I'm trying to concentrate on losing. So in King of Fighters, you have to have a team of 3 characters. And it's not like Marvel vs. Capcom where you get to switch them out as you're playing. You have to play until one of them dies and then you go to the second one. So there's a little strategy there, but before you play online, you have to go into the online mode and edit your team. And you have like a bunch of different slots for that. So you could have like, these 3 characters and then these 3 characters, but you have to set that up before you do online matchmaking, because when you start that, you can't change it until your match is over with that opponent. And then you can go back and like, okay, team 1 didn't work out. Let's try team 3. And currently my record is 2-10. So I'm not doing well. Even in the quote unquote ranked matching. And the thing is, like, it's like, oh, you're ranked 10. Let's put you against a rank 15. First off, I don't know why the fuck you put me at rank 10 because I just started. But now I'm at rank 9. So maybe if I bump those numbers down, I can actually have a chance of winning some matches. So I'm starting to get into, like, I have not, like, went this far into a fighting game since I started really playing Street Fighter Third Strike. A few years back, I started really getting into playing it with a couple of characters. Elena is my main and Chun-Li's my backup on Street Fighter Third Strike. Although I can play other characters well enough. So if I'm playing against someone who isn't like well crafted at the game, I can like lower my power level by not picking Elena because I'm really good with her.
It's very humble of you.
Against people that are just average players. And so much like I like with anything I start with, I picked one of the most complicated characters to start with. Her name is Whip. They are not very inventive on the names on KOF. You have characters such as, my brain shut right the fuck off because the names are too common for me to remember. But Chris is one of the characters. So if you like to play a character called Chris, they got you. There's a Rachel, there's a Chris. There's probably a Bob in there somewhere. But anyway, you have those, and then you have Whip. And I'll ask you, what do you think she does?
Whips.
She has a whip.
She has a whip.
She does?
Yep. Her whip it works as a projectile. You can trip your opponents with it. And there's a really cool move she does where she takes the whip and wraps it around their throat and slams them on the ground and stomps on their head and laughs maniacally. That's my favorite movie. That's my favorite move because of how maniacal she laughs. She has a really cool anti-air where she'll snatch people up in the air when they're trying to jump at you. She also has an anti-projectile that she can do with the whip that, basically cancels out any sort of fireball anybody's trying to throw at you. She has another move where she can actually evade fireballs by swinging on her whip like a vine above the character as well. So trying to chain all that stuff together. And so that's fun. There's a lot of characters that I'm kind of starting to flow with. There's another one called Isla. It's really hard to pronounce her name because
she's a whole island.
Yeah. She's one of the main characters in the story mode. One of the other characters exposed her to an alien artifact, and so she has these floating spectral hands She's also a graffiti artist, so you just tie that in together. One of her EX moves, she jumps up in the air and throws paint cans in your face and they explode. So that's pretty fun. So I'm just digging it. I've been playing a lot of that, and that's mostly all of what I've been doing. So, if I get more technical with it, I'll let you know in the future. But that's me
At this moment.
What's
your level of recommendation?
For the game? For the game? Well, I mean, the entry level is free if you have a PlayStation with a PlayStation account. I would say it's a really good fighting game. It's actually, I think it's better than the last couple of iterations of Street Fighter. Me and Jay were talking in the car. Like, I don't like the way they have them in Street Fighter. The characters are too big in Street Fighter 6. They take up too much of the screen, and I don't know. It's whatever. 4 was all right for me. Like, I'm so used to 3. Like, 4 was fine. I played a lot of Tekken 7. I haven't played 8, but it's Tekken, right? I mean, there's probably not that much variables from 7 to 8. What do you say, Jay? You played both of those games a lot.
8 is different from 7.
Is it?
8, like, I would say that if you're initially when I played 7 first, I was like, okay, this is the Tekken to get in on because like 1, 2, 3, we're gone. We're a long way gone. 4, 5, and 6. I couldn't play them. Just like it was tedious for me, the button moving. 7 was very fluid.
Yeah.
It felt better.
Yeah.
8 has an easy mode, like to allow you to do moves without having to worry about combos and stuff.
Right.
8 to me is a good jumping on point for the series at the base level.
Right.
They've done some stuff monetization wise. I'm not a big fan of when you're selling whole stages for money.
Yeah.
And not for any kind of inconsistent. Like I think it was like $5 for one stage. And I think they've done a second stage similar to that. That's where I'm like, to me, stages should be free. Like I understand characters. Okay. Characters that's a substantive thing that you're going to be playing with and playing against. I could see charging for that.
Sure.
I wish they weren't doing that, but to me, the field you're playing on, for the most part, Tekken fields are mostly the same. There's a few breakaway fields where, like, there's one particularly in 8 that I really love because there's 2 points of break that you can have in there.
Yeah,
where you have to learn that stage.
Right.
But if it's just going to be a 3D plane, you're and wherever the walls are, that's fine. Of course, there was the infinity level in 7 where there were no walls, so you could keep backing up forever. Eventually, they can get faster than you to like catch up to you. You can't back up faster than they can approach you, but you can extend that board way further. 8 to me, like, is for a beginner's Tekken. That's where you would start there. Yeah,
I think so compared to all the other fighting games, because with the exception of Street Fighter, because that's like the most similar KOF is to all the other fighting games, because like Mortal Kombat has changed immensely over the years, and I've learned that I just don't like the way Mortal Kombat plays anymore.
Mortal Kombat went way closer to Tekken than anything else because of combos, because of zoning. There's a lot of stuff in that game that I think mimics Tekken way more. Right.
I mean, you can. There's combos and zoning in KOF, but there's also but not. So
would you say combos and KOF are necessary to win?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I would definitely say that.
They're all starting to drift towards Tekken a whole bunch. Even though Street Fighter effectively started comboing with Street Fighter 2 because it was a glitch, because you were allowed to basically cancel out moves by activating other moves.
Yeah, canceling out moves, especially in Third Strike. It's ridiculous. And Third Strike with that. You can also cancel moves in KOF as well. I think KOF is a good entry fighting game. I think a lot of them are. I don't think Mortal Kombat is. But I think KOF is very similar to Street Fighter in the regard of like with the exception of the charge characters, most of the characters have similar inputs. Like you have a lot of characters that have their mid specials will be down to forward punch or kick, or down to back, or forward to back, or back to forward, or something in that regard. So that's very Street Fighter has a lot of those as well. You'll have some different things. There's some Z moves as well in there. Some characters will have a lot more mid super abilities than others, and usually those options can be overwhelming for newer fighting game players. But I would say that if you if you like Street Fighter, especially if you like classic Street Fighter, if you like Street Fighter Third Strike and like any iteration of 2 and 3, to be honest with you, you'll dig KOF. I didn't play the last one, but it looks very, very similar. And then even going back further, some of the older characters in some of the earlier games still have a similar play style. Terry Bogard, for example. Yeah, I think it's a great fighting game. And talking about DLC, there's about like 1/3 of the characters that are paywalled. But since the game's been out since 2022, you can get them in 3 separate chunks, and they're all $15.99, but you get 6 characters for each one of those. Instead of paying $7 or whatever, $6 or $7 for one character, you get 6 characters for $15, and that's basically like like $45 will get you the whole game if you get the game for free, or if you get the ultimate version. Although I will say that the regular version of the game is only $30 if you don't have PlayStation, and then the version with all the characters is, I think it's $50 or something like that. So I think it's great. I would give it for a fighting game, for a modern fighting game, I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, cool beans. All righty, Brady Davis, you're up to bat.
Yeah. So for Prime Day, I ordered a few things. I got the collection, the Z to A collection for Twin Peaks coming in, so I'm looking forward to that. I also got the complete Ted Lasso, which is a show that I've been wanting to watch, and the DVD version of it was only $24, so I was like, let me get that shit. So I got those to look forward to. I started a new book. Last year I read a book called Iron Widow by Shirin J. Zhao. If I mispronounce your name, I apologize. I am very bad with pronouncing Chinese-based names. There was a sequel to that book, and it's called Heavenly Tyrant. And I've started reading that one because it was on the Kindle version of it was also on sale, so I picked that up. It's really good. It literally, like, the second that last book stops, it begins. And it's the 2 books. I think it's just 2 books that they're doing. Is basically like a very loose science fiction retelling of the first and only female empress of China and how she came to power. This is like it's a futuristic, but also like not futuristic in some ways version of China. But they're fighting like giant monsters. And they use them fighting basically mechs. And in the first book, the whole thing is like the mechs have to have a male and a female partner. And it's very dangerous for the female partners. Like, they die quite often. So they're just kind of like recruited for a into the grindstone, so to speak. And, the main character, Wu Zetian, becomes a pilot because she get revenge on her oldest sister, was kind of drafted to be a pilot, and she died, and she's doing it to get revenge. It goes in some very interesting places. The first one, very good book. I highly recommend it. So far, Heavenly Tyrant is very interesting. I can't really talk too much about the plot because I don't particularly want to spoil it. It is very interesting. I can say that, like, now she is in some position of power so far, but is not like all the way there yet. And so far, it's pretty interesting. So I would highly recommend that, especially the first one. The first one, Iron Widow, is a very, very good book. I love that the books will have like drawings of the mechs, because the mechs have like different forms. They have like 3 forms, and it'll show you those, so you can like kind of imagine like what they look like when they're like fighting things and shit. So that's cool. And the other thing I'm going to talk about with Jay, because we both saw the same movie.
Yep. You can probably guess which one that is, but we'll keep you in suspense just for a little while longer. So I was kind of jam-packed this past week. So the last bit of my stuff from Prime Day, I got Balatro for the Switch on a Switch cart, so that when the EMP goes, My Switch, which I keep in a Faraday cage at all times, will be safe, and I'll be able to play Balatro till the end of time or my life, whichever one comes first. I also got the gaudiest fucking polo shirt I've ever owned in my fucking life. It is green as fuck and has stripes as fuck, so it's gonna be very good there. So that was pretty fun. It was my cousin Lionel's 50th birthday party, and we played Skull, which was a lot of fun. A 11-year-old child beat them in the first game.
Nice.
And that was amazing. And in the second game, about a 22-year-old dude bro, who's actually a cool dude, a 22-year-old dude bro won. But that's after everybody killed themselves, keep picking skulls. That's how that worked there. And then the night topped off with Ready, Set, Bet.
Hell yeah.
And that had like 15 to 16 people around it.
Awesome.
Because you only have enough people for 8.
Right.
And so people doubled up into teams. That was pretty fun. Throwing chips at people when their favorite horse got rolled was fun because I couldn't throw and they couldn't catch. So it was great. Everything was going crazy on that one. But it was a great time, and I'm greatly appreciative for Lionel for inviting me. Lionel will show up a little bit later in the episode as well because of some, maybe some feedback. Who knows? Let's see what else is happening. I want to talk about Suikoden real quick. Something I forgot. So Suikoden story. I feel like I'm getting close to the end of Suikoden 1, because the pace is picked up like more than phenomenally. Like this is now we're at breakneck. What I forgot to mention last week. So anytime you cast a spell, you have runes and you have to attach runes to people, and some of them are for physical abilities, like it gives you guaranteed 2 times damage, but then you can't act in the next turn, or gives you some sort of cool special ability. But whenever you use a magical rune, your character lifts up the left hand and then points up the sky, and then the magic happens. So every time you want to do magic in Suikoden, you have to acknowledge Roman Reigns. So it's something that I wanted to point out.
That's why he returned.
And that's why he returned. Boom. Yeah, you go. I used the rune of returning, and boom, there's a it's like there. So that was pretty good. I like that about Suikoden. What else? There's got to be something else. Oh yes, Bucc-ee's. Hello, Bucc-ee's. So finally went because my cousin's birthday was over in Diamond Head. I was crossing over the other part of the coast I never go to, not for any kind of bad reason. It's just all the stuff that usually happen on the east side of the three coastals down here.
I would rarely go there as well if I didn't have family in that direction.
There you go. But so I was like, oh wait, there's Bucc-ee's. And so first of all, it's real dangerous getting into that Bucc-ee's because it's a roundabout that just ends in the middle of the circle. So you need to be ready to not be circling no more, or you're going to die.
Isn't it also the roundabout that immediately comes off of the interstate?
Yes. So you're going from 70 to like 30 and also doing a roundabout.
I think like all the Bucc-ee's exits are like weird as fuck, because I know the one in Foley is like super weird.
That's because they challenge you.
Yeah.
You want to enter Bucc-ee's, you have to go through a gauntlet.
It's a rite of passage.
It's a test.
I parked at one of the 40 gas pumps, and I filled up my gas. It was the cheapest gas on the coast.
That's cool.
Which it might or may not be. I passed by the Shell station in the shadow of the Beau Rivage. If you live down here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The day before it was $2.48, and then the day after it was $2.89, and no other gas station to change their prices up, down, left, or right. So I don't know. Things go on there, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Get into Bucc-ee's, gas up. It's good. I passed by the bronze Bucc-ee. I was about to say costume. What the fuck?
Golden
the statue.
calf.
The statue, the movie. The movie Golden Calf was great. I go in there. There's 300 fucking people in this building.
Yeah.
It's 11 o'clock at night. There's children. God damn it. I know it's the summer. I know the kids are out of school. Go to bed. Go to bed. It's 11 o'clock. I'm not talking about.
Plus, 300 other people thought, "Hey, it's 11 o'clock at night. Let's go to Bucc-ee's because nobody else will be there."
Time to gas up and go to Bucc-ee's, and it's like the energy level in that building was way too much. It's like they're fucking fired up.
They wanted those sandwiches.
They
wanted to say chicken.
The
on the
bathroom was immaculate. That terrified me. That was fucking frightening. What the? Let some piss hang in one corner, so I know that human endocrine systems have been at work in here. What the fuck? That was weird. It was it wasn't that it was clean. I've been to like the Loves off of they're clean.
Yeah.
They have a button. Hey, is this place not clean? You hit that button, they come in there and they fucking clean it.
Yeah.
That's one thing. This is like only Jesus is allowed to piss in here. And that I'm not worthy of Jesus.
Yeah, they don't even have a vending machine for condoms in that bathroom.
Yeah.
No, like, how am I supposed to get my truck stop fucked on? Like, what the fuck? There we go. That might be a button. I'm just saying that right now.
Jesus.
I might make that a button. So there was that. They were out of brisket sandwiches, but they were cutting the brisket. And that's when I truly knew fear, because they were chopping up the brisket, and the guy went, brisket up. And then like 20 ghostly voices go, brisket up. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? I am terror. This is not good. What the hell's going on? They don't have Coke or Pepsi on tap. I mean, you can go over to the fridge section. There's Cokes and Pepsis. You want 20 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want like the 99-cent, here's 40 ounces of just solid soda. Can't get Coke, can't get Pepsi. But you can get Bucc-ee Cola, which had no taste to it whatsoever. Like none. Like it was sugar water. It was basically all it was. There was none of that Coke Snap. There wasn't none of that vanilla fizz of Pepsi. But if you wanted Dr. Pepper, was on there.
Mm-hmm.
I think we know. I think we know who runs the place. It's Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, it's because it's from Texas, and Dr. Pepper is their state soda.
Oh,
Literally.
oh, I wanted to make this like conspiratorial.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's just that. Okay,
Maybe you should have had the Bucc-ee do.
But yeah, like it was weird. Like no Coke, no Sprite, no Pepsi. But here's 7-Up and Dr. Pepper.
7-Up, I have no explanation for.
Well, no, because it's all part of the Dr. Pepper family.
Okay.
So yeah, but no RC Cola. They drew the line fucking there. They had sarsaparilla on tap. That was strange, but it's okay. It's okay.
Like a good sarsaparilla.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I bought a $5 chicken fajita taco.
Mm-hmm.
It was delicious.
That's
It was
good.
very delicious. So I was happy about that. I did get, like I said, the Nuka-Cola. That's what I'm gonna call it. It was just sugar water, but for 99 cents for 40 ounces, that's not too bad. So that was pretty good there. Overall, it's a nice place. Like I said, the bathroom is creepy clean. It just really just is fucking with me.
Speaking of the
still.
bathroom, what flavor of beaver nuggets did you get?
I just picked
Original?
up a bag. I picked up a bag that said beaver nuggets. I think it's just the honey the honey ones. I think it's just
the
that.
original.
So that's pretty good. So those have been good. I have not eaten that whole bag yet. I've been and then I got a stuffed little Bucc-ee because I like stuffed animals.
Yes.
And he looks precious. And he's wearing a shirt that says Mississippi on it that doesn't make me cringe. So there you go. So overall, the Bucc-ee's off of Exit blank near Pass Christian in Mississippi. I do recommend it. I give it a strong recommendation. So there's this movie that came out. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's called Superman. My highest recommendation: go see it in a theater right now. That is my too long didn't read. Is I have not felt this good coming out of a movie in a long time. That includes Dunes Part 1 and 2. That includes this is the first movie since Dune 1 and 2 that I say go see in a theater. The Super Mario Brothers movie could have been seen at home, but this one needs to be seen on a theater screen with other people that you don't know to have a common experience with one another. And I say this as my highest recommendation because I have spoken with friends that do not like the movie.
Yeah.
I would still recommend, even if you think you might not like this movie, or if you're going in there and you end up disappointed, I would say see this on a big screen for yourself and make up the decision for yourself. Without going into spoilers, I see it being thrown out. Like Mr. Terrific steals the show. Metamorpho steals the show. Everybody, it's not that they steal the show. James Gunn, through writing and directing, gave everybody something significant to do. And gave interest to every single character, almost to a character on the screen. So he's
really good with an ensemble.
Yeah.
Like David Cornsweet is Superman.
No, he's phenomenal.
Rachel Brosnahan, her comedic timing is so perfect.
Mhm.
She was the perfect casting for Lois Lane.
Yeah, I knew she was going to be good because I've watched The Marvelous Mrs.
Maisel,
Maisel, and she's phenomenal in that. She's very funny in that.
She won one season for that, right?
Possibly, maybe the last season.
I know
think.
Alex Borstein won it a couple times because she was also fantastic in that too.
I think she won for the last season, maybe. I can't remember.
But Nicholas Hoult, a fantastic turn as Lex Luthor.
Yeah, that's perfect. Lex. They capture every single, like the essence of each character. They capture that, like every single one of them.
I'm so overjoyed for Isabel Merced, who plays Hawkgirl, because the last time she was in a superhero movie, she was Anya Cornizone from Madam Web. And just to see her be able to be in a movie that celebrates this form and this that celebrates comic books and movie and the storytelling of both, and she's pitch perfect. Nathan Fillion, pitch perfect.
Oh yeah.
I will say, if there is one person that I will attach steals the show, Eddie Gathegi is as Mr. Terrific.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, start to finish. He is just you just focus on him there. He's one of the few characters in that movie that I feel does steal screen time from Superman when they're both on the screen.
Yeah.
But God, everything was just so good in this movie.
I think it's a near perfect movie, especially a superhero movie, especially a Superman movie. The only thing that I think, and I don't even particularly feel this way, but the only like real gripe that I can see people having is that it can feel a little overstuffed, like and that's basically just because some of the main people I don't feel get to do enough, maybe. Like I would, and it's just because I would like these people, like I would like Lois to have more that she was able to do. But she did a lot, but it's just like I would like her to have been more of a central figure than she was.
This is where I would try to meet with you on that. I think Lois had the perfect amount to do. I wish that Rachel Brosnahan had more to do.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's more the actress playing it. I think like this is not a movie where like he's got to spin back time and save her. He has to save her. But with a lot of other people, he has to save.
I mean, she also does. She helped save him one time. Like
yes, and also, and then also, like she is a driving force behind getting the plot resolved, as opposed to a plot point that has to be resolved along the way.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
And again, like that. That's not even. I didn't even really feel this way. Like watching the movie, it's just like when I think back about it, it's like, oh, I would have liked this character to have been able to do a little more. I would have liked this character, and it's because he did have a lot of shit in this movie. But I think that everything that's in this movie is like phenomenal. I love the characterizations of everybody. This is probably, besides maybe the animated Superman of like the Justice League and the Superman cartoons, this is up there with like my favorite version of Superman. I love that he's kind of a dope. He's kind of, he's very honest and trusting and a little, he's goofy and he's not afraid to be goofy. He's not afraid to be weird. The movie's not afraid to be weird either. I love that this characterization of Lex Luthor where he's just like a petty little bitch. Like it's just phenomenal. It fits perfectly. Like one thing
I loved about Holt's performance is it's the three phases of Lex Luthor that when blended together really make for when he's like a very great character. You have Lex Luthor, the genius. Mm-hmm. You have Lex Luthor, the businessman, and you have Lex Luthor, the absolute psychotic maniac.
Yeah.
And the three of them, he did that perfect because he can portray each of them and then he can blend like all three parts, and then by the end of it, you have all three of them. Yeah. And he does a fantastic job on that. I found out Nicholas Hoult was paid $2 million to be Lex Luthor. Can you guess what David Corenswet was paid to be Superman?
Probably not as much.
$750,000.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Lois Lane was paid the exact same amount.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel Brosnahan was also paid $700,000. Now I have to imagine residuals, perpetuities, likeness. They're probably going to bring in a lot more money.
It could
from
be
that
they took more on the back end, maybe.
But you think about like in the 90s, like the lead of a superhero movie is probably it. I like, even though Michael Keaton made less money than Jack Nicholson on Batman, I still feel he made more than $1 million just in the.
Yeah,
well, it's
that's
also
true.
like similarly like the guy who plays Superman. What else has
David
he?
Cornsweet.
Yeah, that's the thing.
No, that's fair.
Of those three people, like Nicholas Hoult is the biggest of those three at this moment. Like he has the most like exposure. Like I knew Rachel Brosnahan because I watched that show a lot and I really enjoyed that show and I was looking forward to seeing her in this, but like not everybody has. Like she's just
it's like in Spider-Man, like Tobey Maguire was almost an unknown.
Yeah.
So
I feel this is not a spoiler right now because it's common knowledge, but what did you think of Supergirl's introduction?
I liked it.
I loved it.
I really liked it. Yeah, I thought it was great. Like I think everybody like did perfect. Like so, like the action. Every time like there was an action scene, I just had like the goofiest smile on my face because it was just so fun to watch. You know, the jokes were hit really well. You know, when it was time to be goofy, it was goofy, but when it was time to be serious, they also were able to do that. And James Gunn is very good at that.
He is.
He
is.
The last Guardians of the Galaxy, where he made you cry over a CGI raccoon,
or where you like shit your pants because Starro is in a fucking Justice League, not Justice League, but
Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
There was a part in this movie that I can't even say I teared up. I have to say that I cried. The part with his dad.
Yes.
I had to wipe tears because it hit me so hard.
The John Williams Superman theme is throughout the movie.
Yeah, I figured because I think I heard it in the trailer.
The guitar theme that you hear in the teaser trailer, when that moment hit, I'm pretty sure at that point I was like, okay, this is the moment. And now, speaking of hot takes, we may talk about that a little bit at the end of the night. This movie eclipses Superman 78 for me.
Okay.
Just how, and I think the directors that know the power of music and the power of accompanying, whether it's diegetic or not, accompanying that in your movie at the right times. Denis Villeneuve is my favorite director going right now, and he absolutely knows how to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
But but the number two, and again, there is no race right now. It's James Gunn. He's if his name is on the director block of the movie, I'm going to go watch that movie.
Yeah. And there was only like 2 needle drops in this. It was actually, and this is like, and usually when you get a Superman movie, they don't use they don't use a non-score music. So, and I think that they work really well, especially the one at the very end.
Yep.
And the way that end part swung back. I love that. Like this took clear. First of all, I've heard some people say it's like Silver Age, but I was watching a video and they brought up a good point. It's really more like Bronze Age. It's like just right after that. I think it like basically the stuff that like right before Crisis on Infinite Earths. But it takes a lot from All-Star Superman, which is probably my favorite Superman comic.
Is that the Mark Waid one, or is that Grant Morrison?
No, this is the Grant Morrison.
Okay.
This is the Grant Morrison one that takes place in
Birthright is Mark Waid.
Birthright is Mark Waid.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and it also takes a little bit from What's So Funny About True Justice in the American Way, which is also a really good issue of Superman. Like it's man, just like I knew this was like there was a David Cornsweet. Somebody was interviewing him and they asked him about like, hey, what do you think about wearing the underwear on the outside? And it was like, oh, Superman does that because like he wants to, like he's this powerful being, but he wants to be a little silly so that he feels so it feels like you can approach him. You know, he wants to do something that's like that's a way to be kind of weird and silly and just so people can feel like they can approach him, because it's just telling them like, hey, I do stupid stuff. Look at my outfit. Like, Jesus, look at this. Yeah. I love how like this movie is basically like in medias res. Like
See, that I specifically loved that because it's like you don't like they give you at the very beginning. Again, this is a minor spoiler because it's like the first thing that happens. In the movie.
It's the first thing.
They literally give you a brief history recap of 300 years and then like 30 years and then 3 years, 3 months, 3 days, and then 3 minutes ago, and then boom, you start, and it's literally right in the middle of it. That I think was a genius thing there, because it's still a thoughtful movie, but it allows you to get in the action without having to think about it too much.
Yeah, you don't need the whole retelling the origin story.
Yeah.
And that's one thing Gunn says, like, I don't need to see we don't need to see Clark get put in the rocket ship. We don't need to see
we don't need to see Ma and Pa Kent discovering him for the first time.
Yeah, we don't need to see.
We've done that already.
There, he was like
Krypton.
He also said like we don't need to see, you know, Batman's parents get shot and the pearl necklace get broken again. Like these are things that we just don't need to see because they're in our, you know, public consciousness.
Right.
And I like that they did that. Like it's it's great.
There's supposedly coming up soon information of the Batman 2. That we're going to start getting information about that, which I'm excited about that too.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was a good movie.
Yeah, this was a great launching point for.
I think the next thing is going to be Supergirl.
Yeah,
though, because they released a.
I saw the teaser image and I love it.
Yeah, there was a Luther Corp on Twitter was like, "There's another one."
Yeah,
nice,
it's great.
The Supergirl, it's her next to a brick wall, and it's the Superman symbol with the words "Look up," and it's been the up has been graffitied, and it's "Look out."
Yeah,
and go see Superman, and we can talk more about this.
Yeah, Crypto's great.
Crypto's fantastic. Frank Grillo is Rick Flag Sr. Fucking amazing. Like everybody has something to do, and they do it to the peak of their ability.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. Like I've heard. Like before the movie even came out, people were like trying to pick apart things that they shouldn't even attempted to.
Yeah,
like,
well,
bitching about like the way Crypto looks. Like first off, like Crypto looks different in different fucking iterations of Crypto. Yeah. Secondly, you're bitching about the wrong thing, because maybe we're gonna finally get a good Superman movie, something that we haven't gotten in a very long time, and I'm not talking about 3. So. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I am. I'm a big fan of James Gunn, and I do like Superman, depending on what Superman we're talking about.
Red Letter Media, and Ethan, I apologize. Let me just get this one. Red Letter Media, in their review of it, Rich Evans brought up a very good topic. We're approaching 90 years of Superman, like 90 years of since he existed in. Draft form, but wasn't until Action Comics, and then we have Superman finally. But we're approaching 90 years of Superman. There's not a whole lot he hasn't done.
Yeah.
Right? Because in all that time, all these different writers came in with different ideas on him and what to focus on and how to focus on there. So you have a vast panoply. I will not say that the Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Zack Snyder Justice League version of Superman isn't a valid Superman. I don't like that Superman.
No,
I don't. I like the Brandon Routh Superman more, except that felt more pastiche than an actual continuation of the Christopher Reeve Superman. Like, even go back to the George Reeve Superman of the 50s and 60s, where you got that too. There are the same way, like, you are allowed to like the 1960s Batman.
Sure.
Not my Batman. My Batman is Michael Keaton, 1989.
Yeah.
And if we're going to go voice-wise, Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, of course.
Just full throat stuff on that. Ethan, go for it, brother.
I was just going to say that hopefully I'll have the time to see it tomorrow. I have a couple of errands I have to run in like the Abbeville Gulfport, so hopefully I can find time to
stop by the Grand. I saw it at the Grand. I saw it in in theater 13, which is one off to the side, which is actually I preferred that over here's theater 1 with 3D and Atmos Ultra Super Sound and the chairs vibrate at the frequency of the movie. Like no, just a simple chair and some popcorn and a soda.
Also, you might want to check the weather before you decide to do that.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
absolutely.
Yeah,
that's
and
what
if
I'm
it's
doing
pouring
right now.
down, raining, go. You got the whole theater to yourself, baby.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
But yeah, for me, Superman, highest recommendation.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal movie.
Were there any good trailers? Did you see any trailers that you liked that you remember?
I think I saw like either the last or the second to the last, like one of the newer trailers for Fantastic Four. I mean, that looks decent.
I think that is the final trailer before Fantastic Four.
Because I try to only unless I see it in the theaters. Like
Right.
I'm only ever gonna after I watch one trailer, I'm not watching.
Oh, I don't
trailer.
voluntarily try and watch trailers anyway. They just happen
There
sometimes.
was something else. There was the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie coming
Yeah.
out. Looks good.
Oh, okay.
Was there? There was like 4 trailers. Those that Fantastic Four directly comes to mind.
Mhm.
That one I just remembered because Brady mentioned it.
Mm-hmm.
There were 2 other ones that honestly, like,
Yeah, I don't
Because the
remember.
movie
There
was
are-
so good.
sometimes I'll go
Well, I
to a
don't.
movie.
I don't pay attention to the
Yeah.
trailers all that much, to be honest.
and I'm interested in the movie, but it's not my peak interest. And so it's like, okay, let's see what else. Like the trailers will get me then. Superman had
Right.
my interest
Right, of course.
Yeah.
before, so it's like everything else. Like I did stop for the Fantastic Four.
Sure.
Whoever's playing Shalabal, perfect.
It's Julia Gardner.
Julia Garner, yeah. No,
That's the main reason that
Why you wanna
like
watch
she's
the
an
movie,
actress where if I see her in something,
Mhm.
I tend to want to watch that, and that's the main thing that makes me want to watch that movie. I probably won't see it in theaters though because I just don't want to.
Like for me, it's just I want a good Reed Richards. I
Yeah.
want a
Yeah.
good Sue Storm. I want a good Human Torch. I want a good Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
movie.
of course.
Yeah.
Once in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Please.
that
Yeah.
would be nice.
So yeah, that'll be
nice.
at the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
But super. If this was if as far as superheroes go, this was a 2 for month, beginning to the end. Superman did their part. Let's see if Fantastic Four does
Yeah.
theirs.
yeah.
But yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have feedback.
Oh
we have-
my
we have
God.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. And it's from some of our usual suspects, but we always love listening to our usual suspects. The Sussex. We like to listen to people from Sussex, Britain.
Thank you, Sussex.
Get them some Sussexes. Okay.
All right, bruv.
No, there you go. But but we have 2. One is from one Jason Holder, formerly of the podcast Whiskey and Wrestling, the multiple Emmy nominated one that always kept losing to News Radio. If you get that joke from the 90s, greatly appreciate it. I'm looking this up now. Jay cut this part so it looked like you already had it ready to go. We had a long discussion about 40K and Age of Sigmar that just kind of like took everything out there. All right, feedback. Finally. So the feedback. This is from our PBS talk that we had. You missed 3 shows. Captain Kangaroo reruns.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Green Jeans was shout that out right there, and that moose that always dropped ping pong balls everywhere. That was always weird. Captain Kangaroo is like right after Sesame Street, but before the Electric Company as far as maturity.
Yep.
One that I'm shocked we didn't talk about more. It was Ghost Rider. So I will give us a 2 to 5 minute.
Sure.
Just
Yeah,
to
he
talk
he
about
brought
Ghost
that up, and the reason I didn't put it in there is because if you were to put a gun to my head before that episode, I would have told you no, that was on like NBC. Like I would not. I forgot.
Yeah, I thought that was a
on-
Nickelodeon show, to be honest with
I
you.
thought that was on another
That was-
show.
It was
on another
PBS.
Yeah.
And the pilot episode, the dad of Jamal is played by Samuel L. Jackson. So yeah, but no,
that show was also like after my time on
Yeah.
watching.
I
Rider.
watched it a lot. I just would have sworn on everything that I am that it was not
on
a
PBS. Yeah.
So where Right on PBS was about learning how to write grammatically correctly,
Mm-hmm.
Ghost Rider was about using your words and making them powerful, making them making language that people
Gotcha.
can understand. So that's what I take from.
Yeah, it
from
was
watching
like
Ghost Rider.
like I think it was a group of friends and like one of them died, but he came back as
No,
like this.
It's not the one. There was a ghost in.
Oh,
So
okay.
Jamal is the first character you meet, and there's a ghost in his house, and he finds the jar and he opens it up, and it's Ghost Rider, and he can only use words that are in the area around
Yeah.
him, except when he's on the computer because all of the words are in the computer, so
Yeah.
he can just pull them all together. So that's where but
So he'd like show like pull up words would just like appear in front of them, and they would solve mysteries.
and I think
shit like that.
I think in the third season they finally revealed that Ghost Rider, the house that Jamal's parents lived in was an orphanage, and one of the orphans was like that supposedly thought it like was a bad kid and thought that he did this horrible crime, but it turns out he didn't, and it was going through time, and you find out that Ghost Rider is actually that kid.
Oh, okay.
And so his spirit laid to rest there to help people
payoff for a PBS show. Not
yeah,
very,
it was very great. No, it's
not
good.
very common.
And then the third and final thing, what I immediately wrote back to him was, this is a child's first intro into body horror, and that is Slim Goodbody.
Oh, that's a deep cut, by the way.
Super deep cut. Yeah, so deep you can see the organs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know who Slim Goodbody is, he was a gentleman that was teaching you how.
Just the way Ethan kind of
look it up. Yeah, look it up.
Have you looked it up now? Do you have a picture of Slim Goodbody?
This man.
Oh, he saw it.
This man.
Oh, he saw him.
Wore spandex.
Yeah.
Nude colored spandex showing the open organs on the spandex.
And teaching you how to live healthy and all this other shit. Like, no, that's like David Cronenberg smiles at Slim Goodbody episodes.
Yeah, by the time
the inside story with
Slim Goodbody.
By the time I got by the time I was old enough, like this was one that didn't really show up on PBS at all. Really, it was more like we saw it in school, so I never put it 2 and 2 together.
It was short run.
Yeah.
There's another show we did. There's a lot of shows we actually didn't mention that were short run. Another one was called The Metric System. That was the name of the show, and they had a superhero called Metric Man. Because the metric system was going to take over for measurement.
There was a TV Ontario show.
Not if we have anything to say about it. God damn it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Slim Goodbody initially was like one of those, like they would have these like in between things where like if a show ran short, they would show like a 5 or 10 minute thing. Like what I mentioned, like
that might have been where I mostly saw
they would show that, and then eventually they gave him his own like shortly run like 20-minute thing.
Yeah.
Or it would be part of another show, but it was short run. They only reran that like so many times. It didn't really take off. Like the health side of PBS wasn't really like explored that much because there's really only so much you could talk to a small child about those kind of topics, and it be also entertaining.
So I couldn't find the metric system. I found the metric marvels. Is that what you mean?
Look up Metric Man. Like type in PBS Metric Man.
So while he's doing that, our second bit of feedback, and again another unusual suspect, Mr. Lionel Clark, my cousin, nepotism. We're at his 50th birthday party. He goes, Jay, I gotta tell you something, okay? I saw hundreds of beavers. It's like, oh, what did you think?
Hell yeah!
Yes,
awesome.
The joy, the joy of
Awesome.
hundreds of beavers spreads across the South Mississippi as we speak. It's great.
Man.
But yeah, so no, thumbs up for thumbs up.
Great.
I told him about you having to undergo Spaghetti Man.
Yeah.
And then we started talking about the physics of the Fast and Furious movies. And then somebody else wanted to talk about something stupid. It's like, sir, we can't talk about that right now. We're talking about physics in the Fast and the Furious movies. And it was just like, it was crazy. It was
You found it, didn't you?
I did.
The stunt where they pull the safe, they actually did.
That's
I think it's like in 5.
Yeah,
where they do that one.
Do not let them get into cars.
Yeah.
The thing that really surprises me about the enjoyment of Hundreds of Beavers is the fact that there's no dialogue in that movie.
Yeah.
And it's an hour and a half long, and it's nothing but slapstick.
Yeah.
In the old 1920s silent, like
that movie doesn't explain itself.
It
well.
doesn't need to.
You have to watch it.
Yeah.
Like to explain is because we were talking with Lionel's brother, my cousin Joe, and he was like, "This sounds stupid." And it's like, it does sound stupid.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you have to watch. It's the execution. It's not the formulation.
There's a Beaver, Sherlock Holmes, and Watson.
Yeah. It's really like trying to explain the gags in Buster Keaton shorts. You really can't do it.
But yeah, that is feedback for this week. So like this has been a pretty full first half, and we're almost about to finish it, but we haven't finished it yet. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being passengers on the bus this week. If you too would like to leave feedback, travelersontheomnibus at gmail.com. Again, that is travelers1l@gmail.com. Jody, where else may they engage with us?
Spotify.
Yes, take part in any of our polls for this or any of our past episodes still ongoing. And also, we allow comments on any of our now hundreds of beavers of episodes. That's how I'm going to get people to listen. They'll think we're listening to hundreds of beavers.
Yeah.
Soundtrack.
That's really good for the
algorithm.
Yeah, the algorithm.
All right, the metric.
Because like hundreds of beavers is just taking over.
Yeah, there
it's
you
really
go.
popular right now.
One person by one person every time.
Yeah,
The metric system also, by the way, was a Mississippi-made.
Okay, I might have actually watched.
Which is probably why Ethan couldn't find it earlier.
I feel like I actually watched that one.
Hey, do you want to get doxxed? Hold on.
What the fuck?
No,
I don't.
Don't
tell them where I live, Jody.
They've narrowed it down to Mississippi.
Yeah,
they have. So,
oh shit! Hold on.
What are you playing copyrighted material? We're gonna get sued. So before we get sued, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for
go to the mid show.
No,
go
ladies,
to the break.
No, God damn it, they have to figure out where we are. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being passengers on the bus. If you'd like to share this opportunity with anybody else who would like to listen to us but doesn't know where we can be listened to, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube Music through our YouTube channel, Travelers on the Omnibus, and iHeartRadio. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Get Ready, Fight! As you've hopefully gathered from our title this week, we're doing one of our spotlight episodes on Capcom. Yes, one of the biggest video game publishers in the world. We really wanted to bring light to this indie that is really known. But no, our first one was on Restoration Games, may not have been known, but we decided around the table, probably one of our favorite video game publishers. Just quite frankly.
100%.
Yes. So the history, especially the formation of Capcom, is interesting to me. So it proto-forms in 1979 as the IRM Corporation. It is formed by Kenji Sugimoto, which the Sugimoto family still owns the majority share of Capcom. They own about 22% of Capcom. I believe Kenzo is still the CEO, and I believe his son is the COO of Capcom right now. Incidentally, 5% of Capcom is owned by Saudi Arabia. Just put that in the back of your head for a little bit. Keep going from there. But in 1979, he forms IRM Corporation and is the president. He's also the president at the same time of IREM Corporation, which is another video game company at the same time. He will remain with both companies, IREM and IRM, until 83 when IREM gets rid of him and he just goes into IRM, and then IRM then becomes kind of two companies. Well, first of all, in 81, Sanbi Company Limited, alongside the subsidiary Japanese Capsule Computers Company Limited. These will join together in June of 83 with the subsidiary Capcom Company Limited working the internal sales of the Sanbi Corporation or Sanbi Company up from it. In 1989, finally, Sanbi and Capcom will also then merge to then form Capcom Limited at the name that we know about it to this day. So Jason Ocampo, who was a writer and I believe editor for IGN in 2008, wrote about the 25th birthday of Capcom, which would put the birthday at 1983. However, this company has several different birthdays. It has the IRM in 79. It has 81 when IRM and its subsidiary Japanese Capsule Company becomes Sanbi, and with Capcom as its subsidiary to look after the internal affairs, and then finally Capcom. But then Capcom becomes Capcom in 89. If you want to plot the course of history there, what the hell? But yeah, so Capcom is a compound word coming from the word capsule computers. And the notion of it was that the video games that they were producing for the arcade and eventually for the home consoles were just capsules bursting forward with fun and activity. So before we go into our general discussion, coming off of that, these are games franchises that I will bet most everyone listening here has one of these is in their top 10, maybe their top 15. But game franchises under Capcom: Street Fighter, Dead Rising, Devil May Cry, Mega Man and the Mega Man Battle Network, Monster Hunter, Onimusha, Resident Evil, Ace Attorney, Sengoku Basara, Dragon's Dogma, Marvel vs. Capcom, Okami, Lost Planet, Dino Crisis, Commando and Bionic Commando, Final Fight, Beautiful Joe, and the 1940 series, which is probably the darkest of all of that shit because it's Japanese people retelling American bombers destroying Japan. What the fuck? But yeah, there you go. But like that is for an almost 30, possibly 40, maybe even going on 50, depending on where you put their birthday. That is a tremendous group of franchises right there, just in the history of video games. For one company to have done all of them. Is there anything I didn't mention, gentlemen?
Ghosts and Goblins.
Ghosts and Goblins or Ghouls and Ghosts, depending on how you go with there. That's had a bunch of ones there, both in the arcade and at the home. Notoriously hard, perhaps considerably the Dark Souls of that era in some way, shape, or form, a fantasy situation where you just have to fucking memorize everything, except the Red Devils, which will just constantly dodge your shit no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I hear you mention Darkstalkers?
A Darkstalker, that's another thing. Yeah, that's another thing. Darkstalkers, which is I think called Vampire Killer or Vampire Killer
Survivors
or Vampires. No, you play Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I think it's called Vampire. No,
it's not
Vampire
Killers.
Killer
it's
is
not Killers.
That's Castlevania.
It's Vampire something.
Yeah, Savior. It's Vampire
that's
Savior.
It. I was
it's
close.
Vampire Savior. But yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what Darkstalkers was.
Yeah.
A lot of people credit Capcom's long-term third-party development with Nintendo as one of the reasons why they haven't abandoned 2D development.
Right.
It's one of the reasons why, like, you saw a few attempts at 3D fighting with Street Fighter, but for the most part, the mainline fighting games in the Alpha series, those are all 2D fighting games.
Yeah, personal experiences. Like I think the first game I ever played by them was probably like 1941.
Yeah,
and then
that's one of their big breakout hits.
And then like
arcade.
And then like, well, not just arcade, but there was a time where, and we probably won't make an episode about this because it's just like, you know, it's knowledge, but it's not knowledge that's like readily available unless you're a certain age. But, you know, the thing about popularity amongst like arcade cabinets in the early 80s was usually visibly understood if you walked into any place that had only one or two cabinets. For example, grocery stores, washaterias, 7-Elevens, before they had an arcade, when places would have everywhere, even department stores that only sold women's clothes had an arcade cabinet. Typically, it would be one of the most popular games of the time when they got that arcade cabinet. Could be Galaga, could have been Dragon's Lair, but I can't tell you out of the multiple restaurants I went to when I was a young child that they would have Ghosts and Goblins in most of those places, like especially the Pizza Huts. They would have a Ghosts and Goblins in most of those Pizza Huts, and they would switch out those arcade cabinets with something newer after a few years. But yeah, Ghosts and Goblins I think was my first real one that I played like on the arcade cabinet.
So the first big international hit for them is the 1940, particularly, but specifically 1942.
Right.
And that is your shoot 'em up genre. That to me starts expanding it a little bit more. You have Gradius out of Konami, which is scrolling from the side. This one's scrolling from the this one's scrolling from the top.
Yeah.
It's to me more akin to maybe like Galaga, Xevious, things like that. Specifically Xevious because the place is scrolling along with.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1942 is, and really just the 1940 series of shoot 'em ups is quality.
Oh
If
for sure.
If you're buying our classic arcade, which those are starting to kind of like bubble up here and there. There's not Dave and Buster's, but there's another place that's like, oh yeah, Chuck E. Cheese is actually starting to build
Margaritaville. Maybe
Chuck E. Cheese is building adult arcades. Like they're not for kids; they're actually for adults to sit down and play games from.
There's Dave and Buster's in Mobile now.
Oh, there you go. That could be something too. But the two big ones in 1985 are Commando and Ghosts and Goblins. You've already mentioned Ghosts and Goblins. I think when it comes to the consoles at home. I think that's when they start calling them Ghouls and Ghosts, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Well, there's two separate games. There's both Ghosts and Goblins and Ghouls and Ghosts and Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Those are 3 separate video games.
I could have sworn Ghouls and Ghosts is just an iteration of Ghosts and Goblins.
Ghouls and Ghosts was specifically an arcade only, I believe, and the Super Ghouls and Ghosts was on the Super Nintendo, and Ghosts and Goblins was arcade and also ported as well. Pretty sure.
I'll take y'all's word for it. These are
Okay, it is the sequel to Ghosts and Goblins.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, there you go. There.
But Capcom pretty much like I mean, out of the handful of video game companies that survived the recession in 1983 for video games, or the collapse they call it, but the video games didn't die in 1983. It was just like it was a pretty much like a bump in the whole entire like zeitgeist of how that like went down, because the bigger companies that had success, like Capcom and Konami, broke out and just made their way known. People that like made like shitty games like Kangaroo and stuff like that. Those are the companies that died off during that time period.
Yeah. So and then the first Capcom game to appear on the Nintendo Entertainment System was a port of 1942 and ended up in December of 1985.
Yeah.
And so they can kind of get their start in consoles there. And man, just the console area so you did have the Ghosts and Goblins that came to the NES. But if there's any one series that, at least for the Nintendo era of games, I have to say it has to be Mega Man.
Oh yeah, Mega Man 100%.
Yeah, that lasted 6 games. Arguably, that first trilogy of games is one of the best trilogy of video games of that era. I would like to see arguments to either support and or deny what I just said.
Mega Man was when Mega Man 1 came out, I was like, I loved it, but I hated it because it was so fucking difficult. But Mega Man 2 really made me fall in love with that kind of platformer, because before that you had Super Mario Brothers, and that was fun, but you could only play that game so many times. I can't tell you how many times I played Mega Man 2, 3, 4. Those games were just phenomenal fun. You could actually, if you were, poor like most of us were during the time growing up, you could rent the game and beat it over a weekend if you really tried hard enough. Also, you had, a really cool like select screen. It was one of the first times where you could pick the stage you were wanting to go on, and there was actually a strategy to that, because you could make it easier depending on.
There was an optimal path in the Mega Man series in each of the at least the first 3 Mega Mans, where you had like you beat the first one, and then you have that weapon, and that weapon counters the next boss in line. And you just kind of
like in 2 you beat Leaf Man first, and then you go on from there.
I went Flash Man first.
Well, there's 2 options.
Yep.
Mega Man series. Not so much later when it got into like I didn't play the PS1 Legacy or whatever it was.
That was like an RPG almost.
Right.
3D.
Yeah, Mega Man Legends was an RPG.
Right, but we're not talking about just platformers. We're talking about Capcom and Mega Man and games like that.
I was introduced into with a Mega Man X.
And
that to me is the next. That's the
that's
next line.
the evolution.
That's the one that I started with.
Yeah.
Like that was probably my first.
Because
renting it on the Super NES was like one of my first memories of
right
Mega
for
Man.
sure,
any kind of Mega Man thing.
Right, yeah. Mega Man X is great. Didn't they make some Zero games too based off of that character? I think maybe on the Game Boy Advance.
It was a different. So like he's playable in the later ones because Zero is a character that gets introduced in X. In 4 is when you can start X4. You can start either play as Mega Man or play as Zero from the beginning of the game. And then it goes back and forth, and then they add in like another character in the later 3D ones. Axel, I believe.
The American localization team for Mega Man X really loved like inserting rock band names.
Oh,
There is one specifically. It's Mega Man X7.
Yeah,
I believe
all
the main bosses are most of the main bosses are named after Guns N' Roses.
That's hilarious.
I really liked Sigma as a villain. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed all the fights with him.
Yeah.
The only thing I liked about Marvel versus Capcom Infinite was the fact that I think it was Ultron and Sigma formed together to form Ultron Sigma, and I think that's the best crossover like concept for a boss that they've ever had.
It's the thing that makes the most sense from that. But yeah, the X games, that was my. I played the shit out of Mega Man 8, which was the PlayStation 1 one.
That was the
I really I got that for Christmas one year, and I just played the everything shit out of it. And even then, like they're kind of hard. There is like in Mega Man X4, if you do the cheat to get the ultimate suit, which is better, which is a better version of the one that you can collect, it makes the game trivially easy because you have a move that just makes you invincible and kills anything.
One thing I really liked also about the Mega Man series, and I know we're not going to stay on Mega Man for too much longer, is that over time, whether it is in the original series and then going into X, and the games eventually, not initially, but eventually would evolve. Like they would add quality of life things to the games.
Yeah.
Like you would charge up your shooter. You could charge up your shooter that became more powerful than most of the boss weapons early on anyway. You could slide. That was a quality of life improvement for that game as
sliding started in the Mega Man X games.
No, sliding started in Mega Man 3.
It was 3.
Oh, okay.
Mega Man 3 definitely had the slide in that game.
Dashing is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. But that slide opened up
and in
so
the first
much for
one you
level
didn't
design.
get dash until you had to get one of the pieces.
Yeah.
One of the armor pieces. But then after every Mega Man X after that, it was dash was just a name a normal
we
thing.
mentioned Superman starts in media rest. So does Mega Man X. Like you start out going down a highway.
All the other ones,
shit.
all the other ones you get a little there's a little in X4 there's anime sequences and stuff like that, animated sequences and stuff like that. Mega Man X those are great games. I love them. It was Mega Man X I liked because it was a little bit more, of course at that age it was a little bit more mature. So and Zero is just a really fucking cool character. There was like a spinoff called Mega Man Zero where it was kind of it was another character,
right?
But you were kind of looked like a cross. The character kind of looked like a cross between Mega Man between X and Zero. He had like a blade like Zero, but it looked differently.
It was probably Mega Man. The Mega Man series.
I think those were only on handhelds.
Probably.
Originally.
What were my favorite side-scrolling platformers for sure, hands down on those on Nintendo and Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And even PlayStation as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anybody else want to talk about another franchise?
One I want to throw out real quick that a lot of people kind of forget they had a hand in. So the company that developed these games were owned by Capcom, but the franchise is a Nintendo franchise, The Legend of Zelda: Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages.
Mm-hmm.
One of their team, I think it's called Flyby, was the team that developed it. But those were actually, but that company was owned by Capcom, so that it's actually a Capcom game. It's I think it's one of the few Legend of Zelda games after that whole CD game, the Philips CDI fiasco that they actually let do. And those are really good. I always loved the handheld Legend of Zelda games. Those have a special place in my heart. And Seasons was the only one I had because back then you couldn't go up to your parents and go, "Hey, I want both of these." They go, "No, you got to pick one."
Right.
And you'll probably only get that one.
Yeah.
Developed by Flagship.
It was something. Yeah, I knew it was an F. But yeah, that's one that a lot of people don't think of Capcom as having a hand in, that they actually did. Yeah.
Right.
And those do kind of feel a little different than the other handheld Zeldas at that time, versus like Link's Awakening or something like that.
Very nice, very nice.
I would like to mention two.
Oh, go with one of them.
One of them is okay, Monster Hunter. How do y'all feel about the Monster Hunter as a series?
It's not for me.
I have no strong feelings, positive nor negative.
Conceptually, I like Monster Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
My problem
I have to agree.
is that literally anyone who says you can play that solo
No,
You can't.
is
You
lying
cannot.
to you in the hopes that you still play it enough so
Uh-huh.
that they can play it with you, so you can play it multiplayer.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to have a group.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have. I won't say you don't have to be like draw up a chalkboard and say, okay, you do this and you do
Mm-hmm.
this, but you have to be able to work into a team. You have to be able to work alongside people in order to play that game. At this point in my life, with my work schedule as it is,
Mhm.
all of my friends are asleep
Yeah.
or at work
Yeah.
when I want to
Yeah.
play that game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't play them. It literally is an inavailability for me to play that game series.
Also-
conceptually though, I love the idea of it.
Yeah,
100%.
Like the idea of getting a group of friends together,
Mm-hmm.
crafting your own weapons and armor, and going out and literally slaying beasts and slaying monsters.
I'm gonna lay it down like this.
Go
Like
for
I got the Monster Hunter World when it went on sale.
Okay.
I played it for 10 hours. I played over the course of my life some of the most counterintuitive, obtuse, complicated video games you can imagine and have an okay time with it. I can't with Monster Hunter. It is not a game you could just jump into and figure shit out in a short period of time. Like and I've played a lot of games that feel that way at first, but you can get over that hump in the first couple of hours. Not this one. Also, I have to agree with Jay. You cannot solo that game. It is not possible.
It's basically like in the same way that like you can't just kind of dabble in a fighting game and enjoy it. Like you have to kind of get into it if you want to actually enjoy it.
The thing about fighting games though is like you can actually feel like you're doing something, even if you're not doing it great. You can feel Monster Hunter. You trying to figure out the menus and what to do on upgrading and crafting and all this other stuff, and then you have to like travel like fucking miles just to do like mediocre tasks. Not my bag, not my game. I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying it's not for me, and the reason why it's not for me.
Now they do have a spin-off series, the Monster Hunter Stories games, where it's like it is a single player RPG game where it's kind of like Monster Hunter meets Pokemon. You're like you're
catching them instead of fighting them.
not necessarily catching them, but raiding their nest and stealing their eggs.
That concept doesn't really sound
tomato.
Yeah.
But actually, it's a game that actually has like a storyline that you could follow through and plot points. And I enjoyed the second one, Wings of Oblivion. I believe that's the sequel. I very much enjoyed it. It got me through COVID.
Nice. So, it's just not so. That's not a series for me.
As a concept of a game, the people that are dedicated to it, they go full in.
Oh yeah,
you could say that for a lot of franchises, though.
Yeah,
for sure.
Just not quite my tempo.
Yeah, it's not my bag.
I will say Monster Hunter is the first of those originally Japanese only games that Capcom took a risk on and brought it across to Europe and across the United States. And they've had a great amount of success to it.
Yeah,
They're
for sure.
doing that more recently now with Sengoku Basara.
Oh yeah.
And I want to see where that goes with that as well, because to me it's a similar kind of field. I think it's an action RPG, and I think it also has the ability to kind of pick up here the way Monster Hunter did. I like that Capcom is willing to take risks both in what they publish and where they publish with stuff. Yeah. Another RPG, in fact, it's I think the only RPG that I know of that is turn-based that they came out with is Breath of Fire.
Yeah.
And so much so they took the chance with the first Breath of Fire in that they developed Breath of Fire, but Squaresoft was the publisher in the States. Capcom published it in Japan. And then after it kind of caught on there, then all the Breath of Fires afterward, no matter what console they were on, they ended up being published by Capcom. Capcom's willing to take risks with stuff. Sometimes those risks don't pan out, and I'm sure we'll bring up some examples of those as well. But Capcom, I think, is one of the more chance taking of the Japanese companies, and I think that's one of the reasons why they've been able to establish a foothold outside of the island.
Speaking of Sengoku Basara, so they had a video game on the PS2 based off of Sengoku Basara. and it was a Mushu Dynasty Warriors clone.
Okay.
Called Devil Kings, and
That sounds familiar.
and it's better than Dynasty Warriors in every possible regard. And it's they've had an anime based off of that story because it
became like in Japan. It is a multimedia series.
Yeah. Devil King. I have it. Devil King or Devil Kings. I can't remember exactly if it's a singular or plural. Is a great Mushu style action hack and slash. Yep, that's it. Hack and slash. Like I said, much like Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors, in that vein, where you beat it with a hero and you unlock more heroes and so forth and so on. Really, really fun game, and also like really like outside of what Capcom would normally do. The Dynasty Warrior clone, that's kind of an odd one, but it's a really good one. It's a really good one, better than what it's inspired by.
I think that actually that's the style of the game series, and I misquoted it. I think Sengoku Basara is kind of a Dynasty Warrior.
Yeah.
But honestly, with the way Dynasty Warriors has gone, maybe Sengoku Basara is actually that's what we should be calling that type of video game.
Well, I mean, initially Dynasty Warriors was already like, I think they were at 3 or 4 when that came out on the PS2. Or Samurai Warriors had just came out about the same time. Now the first Samurai Warriors game, and then it's not Capcom, amazing. But after that whole series, that's when we'll talk about Koei Tecmo or something later on in the in the history of our show. But yeah, Double King. Check that shit out.
Yeah. Also known as in Sengoku Basara.
Yeah.
It was but I think they fucked with the story in the localization. They actually made it darker than what it was supposed to be.
It seemed kind of comedic in my personal experience from it, but I mean, you have a chick with a giant ass hammer, so.
Young Ethan mentioned they had 2 games. What was the second game, sir?
The second one is, I want to say it's possibly my favorite Capcom series. It is going to be the Ace Attorney series.
Objection! No, sorry.
Overruled.
Sustained. I really like puzzle games. I enjoy puzzle games. And Ace Attorney kind of like it scratches that itch where it you're trying to solve
those
solve
are
a
word
case.
puzzles though.
So you're trying to solve a case, you're trying to find clues, you're trying to piece them together in court, outside of court, you're trying to like find things outside of the box so you can bring it into the box, and like real niche like character interactions and unlocking dialogue after you find this certain clue. It scratches a certain itch that I can't really describe, but it makes the little neurons in my brain go off, and I really, really enjoy it. Now, there's also the Professor Layton. I have yet to play those games, and I'm very intrigued because those also.
I think there was even like a Layton and Ace Attorney crossover.
There is a crossover.
I've watched a few videos where people have talked about the like that. Jesus Christ, there's like a metric fuck ton of those games.
I played one of them.
I've never played any of them.
I played one of them on the original DS, and I got to a part where I got walled in and I couldn't figure it out, and I was like, I'm okay.
My favorite thing with Phoenix Wright, the main character in the Marvel vs. Capcom games. He just goes around collecting evidence so that way he can give his objection in game and just like instant KO the opponent. I love that. But yeah, that's.
I love the over the top art style in that.
The art style is amazing.
The over the top anime, British solicitor.
Yeah,
like everything about that is just fantastic to me.
For sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Power Stone.
Sure.
Huh?
Power Stone.
So there's this fighting game. It's called Super Smash Brothers. But imagine that it didn't have like recognizable characters, but it was in a 3D field.
Yeah,
and it too was also awesome.
And you had to have a Dreamcast to play it.
Yeah.
Or
now
ported
it's
it
on Steam.
Well, at the time,
they eventually, after a few years, they ported it to the
Power
PS2.
Power Stone was one of those games where I looked at
if you had a PSP.
Or
eventually.
If you had a PlayStation 1, you could play Urgai's God of the Ring. Because it was basically Power Stone.
When
with two
I had
characters.
flashbacks to a simpler time.
that game started
Something
out
about scalper news.
That game started out as not a Final Fantasy game, and then they shoved all the Final Fantasy characters.
They did, because 7 had just come out.
God bless the ring.
God bless the ring.
I know it's not Capcom, but I just want to mention Alien Challenges.
So
That's it.
Alien Challenge.
What I want to certain
Challenge,
is my
my
first
apologies.
exposure to
Yes. Good.
Capcom.
Good. We're relating to emotions as opposed to just shooting things out into the open like Alien.
Is,
Did you think Alien Challenge would make it into the
Nope.
Capcom episode? No.
Street Fighter 2.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to preface with Street Fighter, the original game, had two types of arcade cabinets. You had the 6-button arcade cabinet, which everyone would grow to learn and love, and has pretty much been the staple for the series since time immemorial. And then you had the 2-button.
Oh, no.
And the 2-button was just punch and kick.
Yeah.
However, they were giant rubber buttons.
Yeah.
And however how hard you struck them, that would be whether it was a light, fierce, or strong punch or kick.
Oh, man.
So just imagine you are at a wonderful arcade cabinet, and your left hand you are guiding your person around, and then you have to beat the shit out of the cabinet in order to be able to fight.
Yeah.
That was a bad idea, and time has not sweetened it.
Yeah, specifically the Championship Edition, which was just added to where you could play all the bosses. Vega, Balrog, and M. Bison.
There was like
And
Sagat.
Sagat.
Yeah.
There was like 4 iterations on the Super Nintendo.
Street Fighter 2, Street
Turbo.
Fighter 2 Championship Edition, Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Which Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition only appeared on the Genesis.
Yeah.
Then you had Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which only appeared on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And then you had Super Street Fighter 2, which I believe was on both.
Uh-huh.
And then you had Street Fighter 2 Turbo. That's the one where Akuma shows
The new
up.
challengers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, like 20 years later, Ultra Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I played the shit out of we played the shit out of Street Fighter, but the games that like really stuck with me that I've played the most when it comes to like Capcom fighting games are like the when they started with like the Marvel games, and it eventually became like the Marvel versus Capcom's Marvel versus Capcom 1. I actually played way more than 2, but
Let's go a little further back.
Yeah.
X-Men Children of the Atom.
I'm getting there. X-Men Children of the Atoms. Atom I played a lot because it was in our Pizza Huts. It was a cabinet in our Pizza Hut.
Yeah. I was also like right during that time or right before that time when Darkstalkers. I was a big fan of that as well.
I would always like read about Darkstalkers, but I wasn't ever. But it was hard to like find Darkstalkers.
I think when the PlayStation 1 came out, they ported it. It was like in the first year, or it might have even been a console launch game or something.
Marvel Superheroes is the reason why I told my parents to get me a PlayStation, because.
Thank you, Capcom.
I played it. I played the arcade cabinet, and I just mashing fucking buttons. I was able to make Iron Man do his super where he summons this gigantic fucking gun, and the beam takes up half the screen. I was like, oh my god, this is the greatest fucking thing ever. And then I looked up in like a magazine or something, like what system is this coming to? And it was a very long time before I got it because it wasn't coming out anytime soon. So I had to play like 3 other games when they couldn't get it for me when it came out. But as soon as I saw it in fucking Toys R Us, I got that shit. But yeah, but all of the Marvel versus, if I ever saw an arcade cabinet of like X-Men versus Street Fighter, I was playing that shit.
Oh yeah,
100%. And then going into like the Marvel versus Capcom series, where especially 1, I actually like that one was on PlayStation, so I was able to like actually play that one. 2 was at first was only on Dreamcast, so you never could fucking find it, and it came out for like a weekend on the PlayStation 2, and it was gone. Like you could not find that.
I remember for a long time, if you found it used, it was like $70-$80 or something like that.
So that was one where if we ever were in like the arcade, I would try and play it.
For sure.
I never played games very much because I would like I would like put the token in, play it, lose. Okay, and I'm going to the next thing. So I never got to play my experience in the arcade was never like playing one thing over and over and over again, because our shit was so far away. Because I had to go like Haysburg or really or Laurel to fucking play in the arcade.
I had a different experience, like depending on the game. So I would try to like play these games solo a lot of times if I could in arcades, because I was trying to get good. So if I ever played against anybody, that I would have a decent chance or whatever. Yeah. And these little snot-nosed motherfucking kids would show up. And I'd be halfway through the game. I'm like, I'm gonna beat the boss. I'm figuring out this character. I'm doing good. I've never played with this character before. It's great. This little snot-nosed shit would come up, put a quarter in, and beat my fucking ass. And I would have to walk away in shame. Sorry, that was a little like regression I had to get out.
But the steps to get to eventually Marvel versus Capcom, you had X-Men Children of the Atom.
Yes.
Then you had Marvel Superheroes.
Yeah.
Then you had Street Fighter versus X-Men.
Yeah.
And then finally Marvel versus Capcom.
Well, there was also a Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter.
Was it Marvel?
Yeah.
Yes, there was. Yes, no, there was.
I think it was right after. It was either around. I think it was like right at the same time as X-Men versus Street Fighter. I cannot remember who was in that one, but because that one was
I remember. See, now that you mentioned it, I think Captain America, Hulk was in that one. Gambit was in that one. They used a lot of X-Men roster, but they actually then like Iron Man's in it.
Yeah.
That's the site of the refund cannon, which is what Justin Wong calls it when he's playing Marvel versus Capcom 2, which is funny as fuck.
Marvel Superheroes was cool because you were playing through trying to get the Infinity Stones, the Infinity Gems, as they were known back then, and each one of them gave you like a different power, and if you use them in different certain ones could use ones better, like they had different powers, but they had some really cool Shumagorath. That was a character that didn't get used very much. And Blackheart was also a really cool character that didn't get used much.
The list of playable characters: Armored Spider-Man, Blackheart, Captain America, Cyclops, Hulk, Mephisto, Omega Red, Shumagorath, Spider-Man, U.S. Agent, and Wolverine.
Wasn't Shumagorath like a starfish kind of character?
He was an octopus.
Oh, that's it.
Giant space octopus.
That doesn't help.
In Marvel Marvel Superheroes, he was pink with a green eye.
That's
and then
right.
in Marvel versus Capcom 2, which he was green with a pink eye, which is how he is in the actual comics.
Right.
The Street Fighter characters are Akuma, Chun-Li, Dan Hibiki, Dark Sakura, Dalsum, Ken Masters, M. Bison, Mech Zangief, Ryu, Sakura, Shadow, and Zangief as a secret character.
Nice.
Like Mephisto is just like an altered skin of Blackheart. Like they did that a lot with those. Like there was one of those where like Orange Hulk was like a fan. But Marvel Superheroes was it introduced us to the Doctor Doom in fighting, who is a pretty fucking busted character.
Oh yeah,
I think they actually nerfed him a little bit in Capcom 2. He's not as powerful, but he's still a pretty powerful character. Those were the games that I played the ever-living. Any kind of like versus Capcom games were like my bread and butter. I haven't played any like the newer ones,
right?
Like what was it, 3 and on? I haven't really played any of those.
Played Infinity a little bit.
Okay, I know who Shumagorath is. Is the
You're correct.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I didn't know he had a name.
He had a really cool like super move that was hard because like you put in the input and then all he did was glow, but then you had to grab them to actually do his full super.
So for me, you know, Brady, you were talking about, you know, what made you want to get a PlayStation 1. For me, it was Resident Evil. That was, I heard that game was coming out, and I was like on board 100%. And then a year later, Final Fantasy VII comes out. So, but like Resident.
This series, and what's weird, so this series starts with Resident Evil, but it's based off of an NES game called Sweet Home.
Mm-hmm.
And the developer of that is basically because that also takes place in a mansion, but that is a more gothic horror movie. And it's also based off of a Japanese movie of the same name.
Yeah.
But it takes place in a mansion,
right.
things like that. But that game was also it was a turn-based RPG. And so, like, when you get into battles with things, you would be fighting that. So it then, when it moves over to when they're developing that would become Resident Evil, you keep kind of, it's a mansion, but then it becomes more like almost the 60s, 70s, like really the 50s, 60s, 70s, the zombie, the mad science gone mad kind of stuff and things like that. And eventually, in developing further sequels for it, they put one in a castle, but it wasn't really working out right, and it started turning into an action action-based game with horror elements, and that's how we get Devil May Cry. So, like, you can trace the history in Capcom from Sweet Home RPG to one of the first true marks of survival horror. To action fighting, which I think is impressive.
Well, yeah. Sweet Home also retroactively inspired Corpse Party, but Resident Evil pretty much if the survival horror genre hadn't already started, it definitely kickstarted the party for that. And then Resident Evil 2. I can't tell you how many hours I sunk into that game. Super fantastic flexibility in what you could do, decide on where you go. Of course, you got puzzles and all kinds of, like, mixes up the action and the puzzles.
Did you do both B files?
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
That's the mark of a true fan right there.
I was never able to unlock Tofu, but I did everything else. But I don't want to talk about. I mean, we're going to talk about Resident Evil maybe for a little bit longer. But before we talk about Resident Evil any further along, I don't want to like whisk past Dino Crisis, especially Dino Crisis 2. Dino Crisis, another survival horror game by Capcom. The first one, much like the first Resident Evil, much harder than the sequel. Bullets are much more difficult to come across, as well as health was much more difficult to come across. Dino Crisis 2, much like in Resident Evil 2, at some point when you get more powerful weapons, just becomes a fun-ass game where the horror elements are still there the first time you get shocked. But after that, it just settles into just a fun action game.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about Dino Crisis story, though.
Yeah, Resident Evil is one of those games.
It is the Hellraiser in space of the Dino Crisis series.
One of those
the game is hell to play
series that I appreciate, but like survival horror is just not my thing. So I watched my friend. I would go over to his house and watched him play the entirety of at least one game of one full run through of Resident Evil 2.
Yeah. There was that before speed running became a thing because the internet didn't really exist in that capacity.
Yeah.
Resident Evil, some of the things that you could unlock happened if you beat the game within like 2.5 or less than 2.5 hours, which playing the game through once normally, I probably took me like 10-15 hours maybe to beat that game the first time with no any guides or anything like that or whatever. I eventually did get it down to 2.5 hours, under 2.5 hours, without using any first aid spray, which is difficult within itself as well, to unlock the grenade launcher with infinite rockets. But yeah, the Resident Evil franchise, as we know, went through some bumps, some missteps over the years.
It's definitely up and down.
Much like a zombie, it's had to come back from the dead a bunch. Like App 3 and Code Veronica kind of were a dip.
Yeah.
And then Resident Evil 4 shot
it back up.
It peaked at 4.
Yeah.
And then 5 and 6 happened.
Yeah.
5's a stumble, 6 is a straight on fucking get impaled on spikes.
Yeah.
And then 7 shows up. It's all you need to make a scary game is a dilapidated mansion in Louisiana. That's all you fucking need. And 7 was great, and 8 was phenomenal.
I haven't played 8 yet, but yeah.
Eight's the only one of those where I've really like had a hankering to actually play, even though I probably wouldn't get very far.
They came away from they went away from the storyline with Leon Kennedy and went with something completely different in 7 and 8, which is, I mean, it's a fresh look at the series.
Well, 7 also brought it like you can't really like in 4 you don't have a partner. You have an escort mission, and I would argue that yes, escort missions in video games are terrible. That one wasn't as bad, but it's still annoying.
Yeah.
And therefore, there's this there's a second tension, not just the fear. You're still alone.
Right.
Resident Evil 5 is a co-op game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 6 is a co-op action game. They're literally like Army of Two.
Yeah.
Except you're fighting zombies and biomenaces.
Right. And the AI, if you're not playing with a friend, is hideous.
And 6, there was because there was multiple characters, and one of them was even like had like powers and shit, right?
Yeah, you had multiple chapters with multiple different different people. Resident Evil 6 has one of the funniest death anythings at all. So if one of you dies, the whole playthrough's over. But a regenerator will capture your character and push you into a meat grinder along with themselves. But your partner's right there.
Yeah.
And so like they push him in, and like the Leon character is just staring at this the whole time. And then after it breaks to the "you are dead," it goes ah, like it's like why you could have stopped that at any time.
Yeah.
Why didn't you, teammate? God damn it! And then there's also a chain gun sequence on in a C-130.
Yeah.
There's also the mostly, I mean, especially Resident Evil fans, common knowledge factor that they had a game that was releasing for the Dreamcast and also the PS1 at the same time. And timeline-wise, storyline-wise, Code Veronica is actually 3, and 3 is actually Code Veronica.
Yeah.
Because they had to do that for legal reasons.
And then they also, another very interesting thing that they've done is they've like remade the games, and they've like really, especially I think 2 was probably the big, well, 1 was, when they remade Resident Evil 1, that was for the GameCube.
Yeah,
initially.
0. Yeah.
Well, there was 0, and then there was Resident Evil.
Oh,
like
yeah.
The timeline is the Resident Evil remake, then Resident Evil 0 is released with the same engine, and then RE4 comes out.
Yeah, gotcha.
Which really like put a whole new coat of paint on it, and it kind of, that one was kind of like they didn't get around to remaking Resident Evil 2 for a very long time after that.
Yeah.
Because those just came out on like the PlayStation 4 and shit.
Right.
Or at least 2 did. I think 3. I don't
2,
know.
3, and 4 have all been remade.
Yeah. I know by now they have, but I just couldn't remember when the other ones have, what the other ones have been released on. But that one was kind of like the template, because they basically like just put a whole new coat of paint on 2. And I know 2 was supposed to be like a really good one. And I think 3, people, there was more mixed when it came to that one.
I haven't played 3, but I played the remaster 2, and it's scary as fuck.
Yeah.
And difficult as fuck, because they use the over-the-shoulder camera angle they do in 4, but it's tighter and it's closer to you, so you can't see anything that's coming up on you until it's on top of you.
I don't think I've ever been more scared of a video game than 7 and 8. Our good friend Winter, she got Ethan Winters is unfortunately the main character's name, and just running through the house with the maniacal madman just yelling, "Ethan!" just chasing me, and I'm playing it in the middle of the night with headphones. Absolutely not.
All of those were choices you didn't have to make.
Yeah, this is true.
Just saying.
Like, I made the mistake of playing specific parts of BioShock in the middle of the night, and I stopped doing that after one specific thing. Yep. But yeah,
the first Resident Evil remake. Consider this. This was on the GameCube, which had more power behind it than the PlayStation 2 did. But I defy anyone to find a game in that generation that looks as good as the Resident Evil remake. And a lot of it is static. Most of it is static images and static angles. But Jesus Christ, that thing just looks so good.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we haven't touched on that is like on the forefront of our minds?
There's a couple, I'm sure.
the other big franchise that from Capcom that I've always had a soft spot for is the Devil May Cry series.
Oh yeah.
I've never been great at them, but I do enjoy playing them. I even enjoy. I know it's controversial, but I really liked DMC. I didn't really care for it didn't piss me off some of the things that they did with the story, but it's just the mechanics of that game and like some of the boss fights and just how it looked and everything just was like so phenomenal with me. I loved moving back and forth between the light and the dark powers. But yeah, Devil May Cry, all of those that I played have been great. I still haven't gotten around to 5, but I do really
I think
to.
Like out of the first 3, I think 2 was my favorite. I enjoyed 2 a lot. I've
actually never played 1 and 2. I started with 3 and then I played
the mechanics. 4. The mechanics for 2. The gameplay was just so fluid. The first one was the first one, and so it's kind of clunky. Yeah, and and some of the areas they use those like famous Resident Evil fixed camera angles, and that wasn't a choice to heighten suspense. That was what they had to do because of the game processing power at the time period. That did elevate the fear, but that was not a choice during that time period.
It was a happy coincidence.
It was a happy coincidence, but like I want to like it's not a franchise, but there's a game that Capcom made that is one of my favorite on the PlayStation 2, and it's called Chaos Legion. And basically it's got the look of Devil May Cry, but it's an action adventure game, mostly action, where you're on a level and you beat a couple of enemies, you beat multiple enemies, and then you beat a boss, and then you acquire the ability to summon either one or multiple of that boss later on for every level. So you have like all these different things that you can like summon for your disposal during tactical gameplay in real time, and it's just really fucking rad. It holds up too. If you ever want to check it out, it's Chaos Legion on the PlayStation 2. Fantastic game.
Yeah. Devil May Cry was always good at giving you like new weapons and stuff like that whenever you got one. And it was one of those things where like I never did like I said, I never did super great in it, but like that first time I got my like first triple S combo, I was like, oh shit, this is man, that's great shit. Hell yeah.
Yeah, you had your like I think starting with 2, you had your choice of like, you know, if you want to like level up your sword or you want to level up your guns.
But like the idea, because I think that was one of the first games to do that of that type was of like rating how you're like giving you an immediate rating as to how you're doing right now.
Also putting RPG elements in an action game as well wasn't really common during that time period.
And it's just it's hard to get really good at the game. It's not hard to go out there and play the game and to do some really cool shit while you're playing.
And then like they evolved into like Bayonetta, you know.
Yeah, well because the dude,
same. Yeah.
Well, you have Bayonetta, I would argue God of War is very similar. Kind of lost in the shuffle there, but Dante's Inferno feels more like a Devil May Cry game.
Right, but like, God of War isn't Capcom though, is it?
No, but I'm saying that genre of games, Devil May Cry is at the
Sure. But wasn't Bayonetta Capcom or no?
I can't remember. I know that the guy who
is Sega, I believe.
I know the guy who
it looks like a fucking Devil May Cry game.
It's because the guy who made Devil May Cry.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
He got fired or something and was like
Hideki Kamiya forms Platinum Games.
I'm gonna fuck it. I'm gonna go and make my own Devil May Cry. And that's how you get That's why Bayonetta feels so much like a Devil May Cry.
Platinum Games with Sega.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and
Nintendo publishing it.
Nintendo publishes 2 and 3 because they're the ones who put up the money to have it happen in the first place.
Makes a lot of sense.
There's a strong horror bent throughout Capcom because we've mentioned that I would also mention, kind of in the spirit of Resident Evil, but way more campy.
Haunting Ground or no?
No, I was thinking Dead Rising.
Oh, I got you.
And way more campy. And then on the other side of things, into more of kind of Japanese horror, but Japanese Sengoku Jidai era horror is Onimusha.
Go on.
Onimusha.
I keep naming all these other games. Yeah, Onimusha is great.
Yeah.
Onimusha,
which I think was another
Onimusha.
Yeah. Was another game that was going to be Resident Evil, but it went its own route. But once again, I think iteration when iteration can go right and wrong.
Right.
See Resident Evil 4 to Resident Evil 5 taking the wrong ideas
for sure.
there. But then also see things like, again, Resident Evil 7 and 8.
Yeah.
The Devil May Cry series kind of buying in more to the camp and all of that.
Sure.
And kind of like it almost becomes a bit of like we mentioned Dynasty Wars. It's almost a Dynasty Wars of how many of this giant horde of zombies can I chop through,
The Onimusha, like fucking fantastic series. Like especially
that,
the first
that was
two.
one I knew about and along with like Dead Rising, those were ones that I knew about and was familiar with, but I never actually played.
Also, Onimusha is like a good example of when people bring up they use fixed camera angles for fear. No, because that's in Onimusha as well. Because they had and tank controls as well, because that's just how those games played.
Yeah, I think that Capcom is actually good at is like they do eventually like learn from their mistakes. See, like, it took them 2 Resident Evil games to finally go like, oh man, we need to do something different, I guess. Because
they also
these last 2 ain't working.
They made mistakes with Onimusha as well. They made the fighting game or whatever it was. That was garbage.
But
it happens.
No, you're going to have missteps.
Yeah, of course.
But again, I think just their way of kind of just being able to kind of change and once they finally realize that. A good example, both good and bad for that, is the Commando series. So you have Commando, which kind of falls in line with Ikari Warriors and just the kind of dudes in a jungle shooting up people trying to get to the side guy.
Yeah.
And then you get Bionic Commando, and that's where it goes fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a 2D side scroller, but he doesn't jump. How does he move around? He has a bionic arm, and he shoots it out and latches on and swings places. And this is a game for the NES.
Yes.
And they had like almost Spider-Man type controls for this character. Like, what the hell? Fantastic series. And then they made a Bionic Commando for like the 360 generation. And that's where things kind of failed.
Yeah.
Well, the first problem is they made their protagonist a white dude with dreads, and you're like, ugh.
That might be their first mistake, but their worst mistake was, hey, your bionic arm, you're the character from the NES game. Your bionic arm, in order to make it work, we had to take someone who was related to you and put their brain in it.
Yeah.
And so your wife is your arm.
Yeah.
Also Pepsi.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Everywhere is Pepsi.
Pepsi, man. There was another thing I wanted to mention before, because we say non-sequential because we have to jump back and forth about certain things. And I mentioned this short-lived series before, but I'm going to mention it again. I mentioned it last time because I actually bought a copy. And that is the spiritual successor to Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts. That's Maximo.
Oh, yeah.
Both Maximo, Army of Zen, and Ghosts to Glory. Ghosts to Glory is the first one. Fantastic 3D platformers on the PS2. Absolutely fun. Just amazing games. Nice, like, minor puzzle solving with a lot of action. And also, well before trophies were a thing, it was one of the first few games that actually had, like, getting 100% on a stage. Like, if you because there was if you got to a villager in time, they would give you gold, but if you didn't, then that would lower your percentage rate for that level. So you'd have to go back and try and save that villager while killing all these zombies and skeletons. Also, the character designs for all the enemies and the main character Maximo, fantastic. One of the cute little things that they did in the old Ghosts and Goblins series, they have here, where you basically have, like, if you have armor on, you have 3 hits instead of just 2. So, you would get knocked down to your shorts, but you would find armor. And if you already had armor on, it wasn't a waste. You could actually pick it up and it would turn into money. And you bought different upgrades and things like that to better not just your weapons, but you would have abilities. So you could throw a shield, use a shield to suck in coins. Fantastic.
So there is a spinoff of that series where one of the most annoying bad guys in that, you play as them. And that is Gargoyle's Quest. You play as Firebrand.
Oh, you're talking about the earlier series?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, the Red Devils.
Yeah, Demon's Crest too.
Demon's Crest, which was on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was a great series of games.
Yeah.
The initial ones are on the Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
They have weird like city RPG elements, but then you get into the fighting, and it's actually like side scrolling, like almost Metroid in the fact that you upgrade your weapons and things like that, which I think is fantastic. But again, it's this thing that's like they can take stuff and and find ways to spin it off and make significantly good games that are that have no real, like, as far as play style, as far as primary loop goes, has nothing to do with the original game, but it's something that they came up with that just works with it.
Right.
And I just think that is the hallmark of how they've survived for 40 or 50 years, depending on when their actual birthday is.
Yeah. Yeah, they really of the current big publishers, they are one of the least odious, to be honest. They are still like doing a lot nowadays. They are doing a lot of the things that the other publishers are doing that, if you ask me, are killing the fucking game industry, but they aren't near as bad as some of the other ones. Like they're not constantly doing like, hey, we have to make this next game a live service or something. Like that. They do have some of those, but like it's not like it's not as bad as when compared to like other ones. Of course, you are being compared to like Ubisoft and EA and shit like that. So it's like
and DOA.
So it's like, all they have to do is not do the absolute work, not be absolutely atrocious, but so it's a low bar, but
it is, especially like Dead or Alive 6. To get all the unlocked DLC, including costumes, is like $18,000 or something ridiculous like that.
That's about right. Oh man,
what else? What else? Capcom do we got?
I don't really have anything else.
I think I'm about tapped out.
But good, Jay, do you have?
I want to bring
else?
up. So there was the Capcom 5, which included Resident Evil 4, I believe, Killer 7, and 3 other games. But the one game I wanted to particularly talk about that is Beautiful Joe.
Oh yeah,
because that was a absolutely original 2D. It's a 2D game, but it's set in a 3D world. So there's 2D, 3D elements to it.
Yeah.
The art style is fucking amazing.
It is,
and from what was a really good open with Beautiful Joe, they haven't done much with it at all.
Yeah. Well, it was also like a super weird game.
It was very strange. And that was during a time period where a lot of weird games were happening, like Alien Hominid.
Yeah. But
that was from the Behemoth.
Yeah. Beautiful Joe was a game I played like one time and was like really bad at, and I was like, I can't keep playing this game. This is not the game for me. But I do very much appreciate Beautiful Joe, but because it did like weird shit.
It was also one of the few games that had cell shaded graphics that didn't look like absolute garbage during the time period.
It was one of the first of those games also that its big mechanic was playing with time, like slowing down shit. Like it was one of the first big ones. It was basically that, and then Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. I cannot remember which of those came out first, but
it looks like it's just like a big comic book that's just moving along.
That's what it feels
like. He's a nerd, and his girlfriend gets kidnapped, and he becomes like a character, his favorite character in a movie. So he that's why he can like slow down time, because he knows he's a character in a movie. So he can like slow down time and rewind, and he gets all these other like powers like that, and he's fighting like things from the movie or TV show. I can't remember exactly.
Did the same studio do the Mighty 101 or whatever that game is?
Quite possibly.
You mean Mighty Number 9?
No. There's a game called something 101.
I know what you're talking about. It's like, but it's a similar art
The
style.
Wonderful 101.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
They may have. I'm not
it
sure.
might be the same like creator because it is in the same.
The art style's very similar.
Beautiful Joe came out June 2003. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time came out October 2003.
Okay, so
same year.
Yeah, see, those were the two. So those were the two big ones where it was like, oh man, you could slow down. And it was that one, and then the Xbox got this platformer with a cat with a vacuum that could turn, and its big thing was they used like the internal hard drive to like record your shit. It came and fucking went, but its whole big thing was that you could like rewind like all the way through the level.
Gotcha.
Blinks?
Possibly.
That sounds about right.
The Wonderful 101, published by Platinum Games, directed by Hideki Kamiya, who also did Beautiful Joe.
That explains it.
That's what I was thinking.
Bayonetta.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave, if that's the case, I will leave it on, in my regards, as far as Capcom goes, this is the best game of its genre, no matter the year, no matter the system, no matter, even if the arcade. This is the best version of this type of game, and I'm talking about two-person brawlers. You had your Double Dragons, you've had your Streets of Rage, you've had everything, but nothing comes close to the satisfaction of playing Final Fight.
Oh yeah.
That is a genre that has disappeared almost completely.
Yeah.
Except for maybe like retro titles in the indie scene. But Final Fight, Mike Hagar, the mayor of the most crime-ridden city, or who's also a professional wrestler,
Right.
has got to get his kidnapped daughter back, and he's got to whoop that ass. And alongside him is his daughter's boyfriend, Cody.
Right.
And he's got to whoop that ass too. And then there's Guy. And if you played the Super Nintendo version, you didn't get Guy unless you got Final Fight Guy, in which case Cody was nowhere to be seen. It was just Mike and Cody and Mike and Guy.
I think they remastered Streets of Rage, which is
they also did Streets of Rage 4 recently.
Streets of Rage recently got Streets of Rage has recently gotten some games.
Yeah.
And then the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is like one of the newer brawlers.
Beat 'em ups,
Beat 'em ups.
Sega is another one of those, like, so Capcom is capsule computers and Sega is service games. That's another, that's the thing that's kind of typical, just something that I've always thought about. Because I always wondered what Sega meant, and this was going back to college, and then like the dawn of the internet. It's like, Sega is short for service games. It's like, oh, that's it?
Yeah.
I thought there was some epic story behind this.
No. Just shortening of a long ass word.
Ladies and gentlemen, the bus is headed into the station, so we are done with our brief non-sequential history of Capcom and our Capcom spotlight for this week. What did you think about it? Did we miss anything about Capcom? What are your opinions about Capcom? Let us know. Travelersontheomnibus at gmail.com. Again, that is Travelers, 1L, on the omnibus at gmail.com. Leave some comments as well in the episode over on Spotify. Gentlemen, there's this place called McNarb Gaming. We thank them for this wonderful studio space. What have they got going on? Like, because I know they had the RCQs for like past couple weeks.
August is Edge of Eternity is
Edge of Eternity is officially released August 1st.
Yeah,
that's another Magic expansion.
Yep.
Yeah,
yes.
the next.
By the time this episode comes out, the next Friday will be pre-release.
Pre-release. Cool beans. Cool beans there.
My birthday is the 1st.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
We'll get you beaver nuggets.
Okay.
I'm not going all the way over to Bucc-ee's.
I appreciate that sentiment.
I might.
How was the traffic, by the way?
I was there at 11 p.m. The traffic wasn't bad, but I will say this right now. If I had to do that roundabout with traffic on it, I would not be here. I'm not saying I'd be dead. I might still be laid up in the hospital, because that went from circle to straight line real fucking quick. Fucking quick.
I already know what I'm getting you for your birthday.
Oh, Jesus.
Beaver nuggets.
And no, beavers
homemade
are not involved.
Homemade
Beaver is not involved.
Beaver's not involved.
Beaver is not involved.
Beaver is not involved.
It's been a minute since I've seen a beaver.
Beaver is not involved.
And on that note,
Beaver is not involved. Next week, it's going to be Omnibus Hot Takes. We are going to come at you with some of our hottest takes in the world of pop and or nerd culture. It is going to be fun times for all, except for the people who don't like arguing. But
I feel like this is probably going to be mostly Jay saying the most off the wall shit. And we're going, what the fuck? But we'll see. We'll have to try and top some of his shit.
I will say, this is what my prediction is for next week. I will probably have the most hot takes, but someone in this room is going to have the hottest take, and it is not me. That is my prediction for next week. That is my prediction for next week.
Okay.
But with that note in mind and that little earwig in your ear, ladies and gentlemen, once more around the room, we are Travelers on the Omnibus. My name is James McCarthy.
I'm Brady Davis.
I'm Jody Cope.
I'm Ethan Skinner.
Thanks for stopping by and enjoying the ride, guys. Peace out.
We didn't go over pachinko machines because that's Konami's slut ass.
I think
I wouldn't
Capcom,
know what to tell about that shit either.
I think Capcom has actually done some pachinko machines.
Not like Konami,
not like Konami.
Jesus.
Because,
Capcom never said, "Hey, we're just going to do pachinko machines." Like they've all done it. Like I think Nintendo probably even fucking has some.
Well, hell, Nintendo started out making playing cards.
Playing cards,
and then the Ultra Hand.
Yeah,
and then Donkey Kong Bonanza. Trace that line.
Donkey Konga.